horses. Good day to you, partner. I'm Guy, and I can already tell that I'll be your best friend in this forsaken camp.
Wheat Solo here, aka the Skeleton King. So, this is the realization that my entire build sucks. I no longer proc Bone Spear. Oh shit, I have the wrong armor on. Look at my asshole of a face. Okay. Anyways, so 86% increased cast and attack speed, 19% chance crushing blow. Besides that, really good mods. Like velocity is wonderful. Honestly, for Blade Shield, I don't even know if it's fast enough to really matter. As you can see, like sometimes the proc just releases enough bone spears to just completely wipe out whole screens, and it feels so satisfying. This will be the last version of this build I make. Now, I did find 2 arrows at the end that I'm going to talk about because I don't think this gear is min-maxed. I think... I think there's 2 big things you could do with this build. For one, life after each kill is totally the direction to grow. To grow and go. To grow as a player and to go as a person is life after each kill, but along with that is crushing blow. And what I actually found was arrows with crushing blow and life after each kill, which gets me to realizing, how much more min-max this gear really could be. Like, that was a really satisfying fucking screen. Like, okay, no one sitting here watching this goes, okay, that wasn't really cool, and I'd like to try that. Because sometimes this build is absolutely worth playing. And other times, it's like, you're taking a little while to do stuff other builds could do quicker. But you know what? That's kind of a lot of builds in this game. There's only a few literal top-tier builds in this game. This is still a 6-minute cow map with, I think, acceptable clear amounts. I know some people on YouTube are never happy, but that's because some people on YouTube are literally never happy. And I'm not here to please them. Or, I don't know, maybe I am. Let me know what I should do, unhappy person. I can, trust me, if you want a kill everything, open every chest, pick up every item, ID it, I'm going to make another pacifist doo-doo video. And if somebody actually requests I pick up everything and ID it again, maybe I will do that one more time. Just because if some jackass right now wants me to do that, you know what, I'll do it. But what I really wanted to talk about was more about where this build should go. So, my obvious answers, life after each kill and crushing blow. Because I think actually you could end up dropping the Act 3 Holy Shock Merc. Or, if you wanted to keep the Act 3 Holy Shock Merc to keep the consistency, what I actually think is drop the Beast and the Templar's Might from his armor and weapon. And what you should do is put an Innocence on him. We're actually going to talk about Innocence for a second, hopefully by the end of this video, because that was really cool too. Like there's a couple of screens where you should just watch and it's eye candy. I think Bone Spear has a really satisfying sound and kill animation. But Innocence is really, really good. So anyways, you put Innocence on the Merc, and then what you're going to do is you're going to put whatever you want. I think Stormlash is great. War Shrike, obviously. But what it really is for the Ferocity Helmet. You could put the Ferocity on your own Necromancer. I think that's a fine choice. But again, I'm at the 48 FCR breakpoint. I wouldn't want to go that much lower. I do think it's possible you could. You kind of need to wait sometimes. Sometimes you can just warp right away and you've already casted your Bone Spears. Other times it definitely takes a second. My routing wasn't great either. So do I think you could do this faster? Definitely. I'm not saying as fast as Poison Nova. Maybe a little closer to 5 minutes with good routing. I think the amount of kills is pretty on the line, so I don't think you could really go much faster in that direction. But you could maybe stomp a little better. I think as I was playing, what I realized is you should try to stomp to the next pack, so you kind of have packs all around you, because the Bone Spears, basically go the entire screen, right? They even go off screen a bit, so you can kind of kill enemies all around you, which is something I started to incorporate later. Another one of the plus notes to this build is that it can kill bosses really, really fucking fast because all of those archers are actually pretty good. But that's what I wanted to talk about. When you're going to go with the ferocity direction of the build, and maybe even increase the consistency of your Merc of applying static field or doing damage of his own, like War Strike, the archers are going to lose a lot of their umph. You may have watched my videos. If not, just know that archers are purely base damage. So if you take off Templar's Might and Beat, what does that leave the archers doing? I mean, they'll still help you single target, but besides that, they're not going to really help you on mobs. Very marginally, okay? Let's just be honest. So you should probably go with revives. And that's just because revives are good tanks. And also, they're also just pretty good damage without anything about them. And you're going to go, well, what about Bran giving you additional archers? It's like, well, there's a way to play this build where you don't care about that at all. And then guess what? You never have to think about swapping. By the way, I did play this without swapping. You definitely can. The archers are still pretty useful single target. They definitely don't help clearing mobs anymore. But all you really need is a little bit of help single target anyways. Definitely they kind of help pick off stragglers, which is nice. But the annoying thing about not having a swap at all is in this video I swapped. And as you can see, only one archer dies. I don't notice, or I would have resummoned him. But without the swap gear, they die pretty quickly, which is pretty annoying. So if you went with revives and you went with an Act 3 Merc or Ferocity on your own character, that means enemies do way less damage. I need to cast Bone Armor way less. I take FHR way less. And I think that, along with the life after each kill and crushing blow and just better arrows in general with resistances, and I think this build is completely competitive. Now, just for those wondering, I do run around and show you how clear the map is. And I do think it's acceptable. I miss like one pack somewhere, if that. I think by the opening gate, at the corner and then on the other side, and I don't know, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Might be. And yeah, like there's a couple of areas where maybe I didn't kill enough, but I think overall it's fine. And it's my video, so I say it's good enough. So with revives, you know, you could get Urdars for crushing blow, so you're really not going to lose stomp damage. It's going to be fine. There's even a world where maybe you try to put on Sanctuary somehow. I don't know how much that would do, but there's definitely some things you could do where you just go with the Bone Spears and the Innocence Merc. I mean, the Innocence Necro, and I think it's actually awesome. And I think anyone out there who's already got an Innocence on a Necromancer and is bored at the end of the season and wondering what they should do, I think you should try this out. Are there any other useful Merc options? Prayer is just nice because it's good. The Cold Auras are good. Defiance Emilio is good, and then you could put the Sanctuary Aura on him. God, I'm so blanking on the name of it right now. I'm sorry. These are the two good arrows I found, and I think it's going to be incredibly funny because I'm going to look at that again, and I go, oh, this one's pretty good. All resistances plus 15, some strength. Okay. But then look at my face as I realize there's life after each kill and crushing blow. And so let's slow that down and watch it one more time. And then what is that? Am I emotionally drained from viewing that piece of goodness? Anyways, so here you can see my stats at the end of the screen. This is my last play with this, and I'm going to either try the summon-based version or do a pacifist doo-doo run, and I'm going to do a few other builds. Innocence, they really need to do something about it because I like it. It's fun. It lets you do a lot of things, but it's kind of the just best option to put of a Merc, 90% of the time now. And it's also too good to put on a player. Maybe not 50% of the time, but it's kind of growing. And so I just think Innocence needs to be tuned down on Mercs, mainly. I don't think it's necessarily a problem on players yet, but on Mercs, it's like, you just go, oh, I should, put Innocence on the Merc. It's like, how do you not do it at this point? It's like, yeah, Skeleton King out. GG.
Come and play with us, Daddy.